to the smooth end of the pineapple.
Oh, hello. We're talking over this one. Okay.
Oh.
Hello. Well, no, that's great. I love it. I feel like a radio guy.
As long as the audio meter doesn't peek out. There we go.
Hey.
And we're back. This is our third episode. Wow. We've survived this far without anything going drastically wrong.
I know. I was just saying to...
Good evening and welcome to...
I was just saying to... Help, this is me.
Me here.
Yeah, hang on. Let me just...
That's
me. See, just as I said, nothing was going to go wrong.
Yeah, see,
I kept the playlist
you were
going.
just asking for trouble.
And something went wrong. Okay.
I'm in the wonderful position. I'm just sitting over here, completely remote from the laptop, from the mouse, from all of that. So I just get to sit here and go, "Oh, you stuffed that up."
Yeah. Stuff that up. Look at me. I can sit here and not stuff that up.
Yeah, I can't stuff anything up because I'm contributing absolutely nothing.
Apart from your witticisms.
Oh, my witticisms. Oh, I'd forgotten about those. I better hurry up and think of some.
Well, look on the bright side. You didn't fart before this episode started.
I didn't. I was a good boy. I'm learning my radio trade.
And Ralph's tongue has gone in. Hang on, what's going on?
Oh, there's a little bit out.
It's
just behind. It's behind a fold.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Because he has his special sheet that has to go over the lounge.
Yes, because stains show up on this sheet.
Yes, and so the smell of Ralph leaves with him.
Poor old Ralph. Okay, so this episode, Matt, I thought we'd talk about how we met. Okay, so now it was actually 2011. It's amazing, right? So I was doing a film called It's Brisbane Tonight, Wow, which is a low-budget feature film kind of send-up of a community TV station that a very funny man called Mick Steele wrote, who's a comedian in Brisbane. And I wrote another draft of it. I produced and directed it, and it played a small part. Mick played the lead. I wrote another draft. I don't know if I improved it or not. But anyway, we shot the film, and it was a lot of fun. And as we're getting near the end of it, I had a whole lot of sketches that I wanted to make a sketch comedy feature film, which we ended up doing, called Human Interface Parser, or HIP for short. And we'll look at that in another episode. But both It's Brisbane Tonight, Wow, and Human Interface Parser are on YouTube, which will tell you that no distributor picked them up. They still have their funny parts. Don't worry about that.
That's right, not for want of quality.
Yeah, exactly. And so, look, I wanted a group together to create sketches and work on sketches. So I asked a few friends, and we formed a group called Man vs. Platypus. And at that stage, so this, I can't remember when we formed that, probably early 2011. Anyway, so in that group at that time, we had Alexandra McTavish and Jo Thomas, two really funny actresses. Joseph Taylor, a great actor, and he's still doing heaps of stuff. If you look at him on Facebook, he lives in Indonesia, and he's very involved in the entertainment industry there.
Wow.
And Sonia Ball, who was also in It's Brisbane Tonight, Wow. And later on we had another really funny actress, Jada Lee, who played the cave woman. Do you remember?
Oh, yes.
Igog and Ugg.
The cave woman.
Huge amount of fun that was. And so we had Elisa Largo doing makeup, Gemma Winchester doing hair, and Derek Griffin, all-round awesome soundy lighting guy, cameraman. Yeah. And so we started doing sketches and filming them, and trying to get TV and all of that. And I actually rang up SBS at one stage, and the first question they asked me was, what's the ethnic makeup of the group? So I don't know if we want to go further with that, but I said, look, I just asked people I knew who were good with comedy. So anyway, now I needed one more male. I wanted to have 3 males and 3 females. And Joseph said, I know this guy called Matt Bell. You should talk to him. And I was like, oh yeah, everyone knows, everyone has an idea and everyone wants to do stuff. And I was interested, but I was kind of like, you have lots of people sound you out about stuff and then nothing happens. And I was kind of reserving my judgment. And then one day I got a phone call from you, which really impressed me. Do you remember that? The first time you phoned me.
Was it in
the first time we actually got in touch with each other?
Was I in a car park at a hotel? A hotel?
No, you were about to go on stage doing stand-up comedy, and you gave me a call.
Oh yeah, I was in a car park.
Oh, okay, right.
I was waiting out. I was about to walk inside.
Right, okay. And I thought, man, this guy's so cool. What nerve he must have to actually sound out another job or whatever when he's about to go on stage and do stand-up. And I don't know, we just really clicked on the phone, and the thing that impressed me right away, Matt, was that it's basically the same comic influences, I guess, and the same kind of influences, take on comedy, that kind of thing. And so we hadn't met at that stage. I think we probably exchanged a few scripts and things like that. And so then we organised to have a get-together and do a read-through. And so we hadn't actually met in person at that stage. And I guess this was like the official audition, in inverted commas. So we organised, and it took me quite a while to find the date of this, but it was Thursday, the 3rd of November, 2011.
Wow.
And we went to Joe Thomas's unit. And so there was myself, Joseph, Alex and Joe and Derek with the camera. I just said to Derek, do you want to bring your Z1 HDV camera along? And he said, yeah, why not? So so we read one of my sketches, and I haven't even got it here because I didn't think it was that funny a sketch, actually. But I can always dig it out later. And then we read a couple of yours, and geez, they were funny. And so I want to play, Matt, the very first sketch that we did of yours. I think it's the first one. Anyway, it's the first one that I'm going to play here. Wow. So Derek recorded this with his HDV camera, and HDV is a complete bastard of a codec, the weird format. It's literally halfway between DV and HD. And I was hoping to actually have a video clip that we could see, but no matter how I transcoded it to try and take that little snippet out, the audio kept going out of sync and drove me crazy. So I've just got the audio. So this is just the mic on the camera that Derek was filming in the room with. So this is your very first sketch that I became, that we read. Okay, here we go.
Wow.
Good evening and welcome to Focus. I have with me here Professor Roberto Plantini, the man whose recent work in cloning has even further cemented his reputation as the foremost in his field. Doctor, laureate, true visionary, and quite possibly the man whose extraordinary mind may hold the keys to the future survival of the human race. Good evening, Professor.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
It's an honour. Now, Professor, as I understand it, your latest breakthrough has, in very real terms, propelled cloning technology beyond the level of understanding that many were expecting us to be even 10 years from now.
That's right, yes.
So, in your expert opinion, just how far off is the day when an average person such as myself will be able to own a fully developed, aesthetically pleasing, but rather morally pliable female clone?
I'm not quite sure.
Capable of independent learning and creativity, but limited to certain tasks.
That's how funny this is. Well, my intentions for this.
A year? 2 years?
Look, I'm not sure that you...
6 months.
There are moral issues.
It's just that I've recently come into a rather sizable inheritance.
Call me tomorrow. That's very good. That's great. That's really... So there we go. That's probably the first time you've heard that recording since then.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Wow, I'd completely forgotten that it was even being recorded.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can hear...
And that was the first one I read.
I'm pretty sure it was, yeah. And yeah, I just think it's so funny, and you can hear Alex and Joe, the two women there, kind of making a funny but indignant laugh as well. Yeah, bit of funny laugh.
And look, it was wonderful to actually hear people enjoying them, because I was finding it hard at the time to find anyone even remotely interested in doing sketch stuff.
Man, well, I'm so glad we met then. That's terrible. Yeah, and another thing about that sketch, which probably a lot of people don't really pick up on, it actually makes a really good point about science selling out to money. You know, I always like that about there. Like, the big joke is a morally pliable female clone, but someone doing anything for money, and sadly, that happens in every walk of life, but it does happen in science as well, and it's pretty sad. But now, we have done that in some of our early shows. We haven't done that sketch for ages.
No, I think we might have only done it in our first one.
Yeah.
I think it was on our first album.
Yeah, we did film that as well when we were doing all that Man vs. Platypus stuff, and you and Joseph did it, and it filmed quite well. We didn't put that in the end film because we were going to use because that human interface pass was basically a whole script that I wrote, and I wanted to keep all of that just what I'd written, and then the extra material we were going to try and get a TV show or something out of that. So. I don't know where that clip is. It's not on YouTube anymore. We should stick it on our channel or something.
Yeah, I know we've got it somewhere because we filmed that. I'm pretty sure we filmed that at my agency.
Yeah, it was over at Toowong. And you both did a really nice job on that, and the lighting and everything worked out really well. Is it on our first album? No, it's not.
Which one?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Cloning. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Cloning. Yeah.
So the first show we did, which we'll talk about in a while, was actually the first album itself. So that was a great sketch, and that introduced me into your wicked sense of humour, and I loved it. That was really good. And you know what? I just had a little memory there because at this stage, I got 4 trips to Cannes to go to MIPCOM and MIPTV via courtesy of Screen Queensland for presenting a whole lot of shows, documentaries. I was getting nibbles of interest from Discovery and other channels, and in the end, sadly, we just couldn't come through. Some of them they liked, and then they'd go back to their managers back in Washington, and it didn't happen. But I took our sketches over there for human. I think at that stage we were just doing individual. We were thinking of it as individual sketches rather than doing the whole film human interface pass. I can't quite remember, maybe. But anyway, I met with a woman from Handmade Films.
Really?
Yes, the Handmade Films.
Wow.
And I gave him a demo disc, and I'm pretty sure Cloning would have been on it. But that was a really bad stage for Handmade Films then, because they'd been through a number of owners. Most people would know Handmade Films as a production company formed by Monty Python with the funding from George Harrison in order to get The Life of Brian into production. And they were a bit of a leading light in the British independent cinema in the early 80s. And, as people came and went and the fortunes of the British film industry kind of waxed and waned, they ended up focusing more on distribution. And they just, at this stage, so it's probably 2011 or 2012 or something, I think they just bought a new owner, and I gave them that material, and a few other people, Hat Trick, who did lots of stuff with Channel 4. Anyway, look, the big thing that I got was it's got to work in your own market first before we'll even look at it. And, no doubt there's heaps of sketch comedy show or sketch comedians or whatever in those countries like England that are hassling those people as well. But just to get as far as to meet someone from Handmaid's Film was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. I don't remember. I don't know whether you told me about that at the time.
Probably did, because nothing came from it, But it was fun to do it. So at that stage, I thought, Matt's really awesome. He's got to be in. Okay, so look, at that stage, I think I emailed you the next day or something and said, "You're in, mate." Yeah. And it was great. And so, anyway, we started shooting a whole lot of sketches. And there was one that you and I did together, one I wrote, and I felt we really clicked as performers there. And I'll play that now. You will remember this as soon as I press play. And this just went really well. And I don't think we've ever done this one. I think out of that whole film, Human Interface Pass, we've only done one sketch in our Smooth End of the Pineapple shows, and that was the musician one, the Joseph.
Oh, yes, the music Svengali.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. And I don't think we've done this one, and one day I think we should do this. But anyway, let's just give this one a run. So Matt and I, again, this is another one we should put up on YouTube. Well, it's in Human Interface Passer anyway. So have a listen to this one. Hi, I'd like to apply for the doll.
Would you now?
Yeah.
Scum-sucking little parasite.
What?
Nothing. Just going over a few things in my head, that's all.
Oh, all right.
Nosy little son of a bitch.
What?
Is this your first time applying for the dole?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a workforce leaver?
No.
Are you an education leaver?
No.
Are you a gear leaver?
What's that?
Just a little joke.
Oh, right. No, I'm not.
Humorless little two-faced son of a bitch. What? No, nothing. Now, as this is your first time applying for the dole, you're going to have to fill out all these forms.
Whoa.
And bring them back in 6 weeks' time.
6 weeks? But I want to get the doll now.
No, 6 weeks.
Why?
Well, it's going to take you that long to fill them all out.
All right.
Actually, that's another little joke. It won't really take him 6 weeks. But we'll wait 6 weeks before we pay him. So now, when you bring the forms back in, you're going to have to bring 3 forms of ID with you as well.
All right.
Now, there's been a little bit of confusion amongst you numbskull boneheads.
There.
About
What did you just say?
when?
Just then.
Nothing.
No, you said something.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Well, I said there's been a bit of confusion.
No, after that.
I didn't say anything after that. You moronic little cretin. You're just imagining it, honestly.
I don't think so.
Well, look, why don't we just forget about all that? Concentrate on this. This is more important after all.
All right.
Now then, dick-faced loser, to avoid confusion over what's acceptable as ID and what's not, we've prepared this little list. Now, a driver's licence, Australian passport or birth certificate is not acceptable. But a phone bill, gas bill or signed note from your mum is. Actually, that's another little joke. Would never accept a note from his mum. Don't tell him that. Now then, while you're on the dole, there are some fairly strict guidelines about what you can and can't do.
All right.
Now, basically, you're going to have to report to us every 2 weeks, fill out your forms in order to receive your payment. Now, if there is any change in your circumstances whatsoever, you're going to have to let us know. For instance, if you got any money from investments, if you got any compensation, if you received any government payment, if there was a change in your assets, if you received any money from any source at all. If you're enrolled in a course, if a child under 16 came into your care, if you went overseas, or if you became imprisoned. But it's not as simple as all that. For instance, if you were to receive money from a trust in which you were nominated as the beneficiary, we'll need to see a copy of the trust deed. Your personal tax return, the trust income tax return, trust financial statements, including balance sheets, profit and loss statements, depreciation schedule, all notes to the accounts, distribution minutes, as well as the beneficiary loan account balance. Now, if you were to enter into a de facto relationship, we'll need to know your partner's income level, investment details, asset values, how long you've known each other, whether you sleep together, how many times a week you do it, what your favourite position is, do you both orgasm? Oh, and we'll need to know your penis size.
Is that another little joke, is it?
Well, you tell me.
I'll just put it on the form. Or of course I would if there's one here big enough.
Yeah, right.
I suppose you think that kind of humour's funny, do you?
No, but I think this is.
There you go. So that was based on my experiences at Centrelink in the early 90s. Or
so many years ago. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah, well, that was... we must have done that in 2012 or something. Yeah, and, you know, I mean, look, it is a visual thing. There's a few visual jokes on the side, so it kind of runs a bit better on the vision than... I mean, if we were to record that just as an audio sketch, I think it'd be a bit snappier. And
Well, that was before our audio days.
Yeah,
Totally,
exactly,
wasn't it?
Yeah. And that runs at 4
We were
minutes.
going on our good looks.
Yeah. That's right. And look how far they got us.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But look, that sketch...
Not even on YouTube.
Yeah. That sketch is when I felt that we really clicked performance-wise, because I thought we both understood the material and the delivery that was required really well.
And you can hear. I could even hear it, us bouncing.
Yeah. So it was great. And I mean, look, Man vs. Platypus ran its course. It was low budget. It took a couple of years to finish shooting everything. I think just before we finished, Jo said she'd had enough, and we got Jada in, and I think she was only ever in the Egog and Ugg caveman, cavewoman stuff.
To my recollections, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, the film was finished and we edited it. It was just a shame that, you know, low budget stuff, fitting it in with family and work and everything, you know, it just takes a long time. And yeah, no, like with distributors, I mean, sketch comedy feature films are a very rare and specialised form. There's probably only about a dozen that I've found that are ever made. And I always wanted to do one. I did one. We didn't shoot every sketch that I wrote, so the actual script, which is on Amazon, has more sketches in it than we shot. But the upshot of it is that it led to you and I getting together. And one thing I'd always wanted to do was just record an audio album, just like Python and others. And so somewhere along the line, I approached you about that. and we started exchanging sketches, and that is going to be the topic of our next episode.
Oh! Interestingly, probably not interestingly to anyone but me, but that shoot when we shot the cave people, that was the first time I'd ever been into a specialised coffee shop. There was a coffee shop near where we were shooting.
Yeah, and we were filming at the back of Salisbury, really, in Toohey Forest, on the other side of, maybe back into Tarragindi.
And this was the first time I'd been into a specialist coffee shop where the people refused to add any kind of sugar or any kind flavouring to a coffee.
Even if you wanted
it? No, they said, no,
Wow.
we won't do it. They said there is some sugar
Customer's
out on
always
some
wrong.
tables out the front if you really want to put it in, but we're not going to do it. I said, well,
Deign
thanks
to
very
defile
much.
yourself.
Yes,
We shall not put sugar in our coffee.
that's right. It is perfection as it is.
It is above sugar.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting.
If you are willing to debase oneself, do it on your own time.
Yeah. Well, are we going to end with a sketch?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
well, your turn to pick one. Here's
my turn to pick a sketch.
Okay,
Okay.
so here we go. Let me bring up all of these sketches again on my laptop. Okay.
I'm going in the
So we're off the first. Which album are we looking at?
I'm going to look at this one.
What could possibly go wrong? Our
What
second
could
studio
possibly
album.
go wrong?
Okay.
I suppose, considering what we've been playing, I'm going to choose the first sketch I ever wrote. And that is Miracle on the Mount.
Yes, great choice. Okay. And I actually have, we're not going to do it today, but I actually have been planning an episode just on that sketch.
What?
Yeah. But it's just an idea at this stage, but anyway, we'll look at that in due course. Okay, so Miracle on the Mount. Let me just try and get this to play with. Hang on, what's going on here?
Play
Ooh,
the
okay.
sketch.
You just fill in the dead air map while I try and get this to work. Okay, open with. That's what I want. Open with. I don't know how to
Open the
use
damn
this.
file.
Okay, here we go.
Yep.
Miracle on the Mount. Anything you want to say? Oh, you talk about this afterwards, right? Or do you want to say anything now?
I will say.
Hang on, I think Ralph's about to vomit.
Oh no, Ralph's having one of his dreams.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's
Dreaming
yes,
about
he
a
has sort of
bucket
bad
of
dreams
food.
occasionally.
Oh, poor Ralph. Sorry, Ralph. Okay, right. Sorry, did you want to say something? Or?
No.
Okay.
Let's say something afterwards.
Okay, here it is.
Jerusalem, 34 AD. Mount Sinai Fish and Chip Emporium.
Oh, this is bloody marvellous, darling. There's got to be at least 5,000 of them up there. Listen to that fella. Now, 5,000. One serve each. Oh, get ready, love. They're sending a kid down.
About bloody time! It's been all morning!
Shut up. Well, hello there, Sonny. And what can we do for you?
I'll have 5 loaves and 2 fish, please.
Come again?
Could I have 5 loaves, please, and 2 fish?
Haven't you just come from that lot up there?
Yeah,
That lot what's been there all morning?
yeah,
With that bearded fella talking here?
yeah, that's right. He's the Son of God. He's been teaching us all about right and wrong, eternal salvation, love for our fellow man.
Listen, you little bastard. I just put 200 denarii worth of chips on. I've had a wife out there peeling potatoes for the last 4 hours.
I can't tear me bloody fingers off!
Shut up. There's bloody thousands of you up there. You're telling me all you want is 5 loaves of bloody bread and a couple of fish?
The teacher's going to perform a miracle.
Oh, is he? A miracle, is he? Well, isn't that lovely? And what about the struggling businessman, eh? I'm going to need a bloody miracle if I'm going to offload all these chips. Look, get out of the way. I'm going to go and sort this out good and proper. Well, that's all taken care of. He's a decent sort, your bloke. Look, Sonny, sorry about before. I was a bit on edge. Truth be told, I've got this deadbeat brother-in-law, Lazarus. Owes me $5,000. And yesterday he ups and dies.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, bastard. Anyway, your hairy mate said he'd see me all right, so I say good luck to him. Don't know what he's going to do about it, but he's got an honest face, I'll say that for him, so we'll see.
Yes, he truly is wonderful.
So, how about some hot chips at cost price?
What about my bloody fingers?
Shut up.
There we go, Miracle on the Mount. I just realised when we do that live, we play the music the second time when that ticking comes on.
We did.
Yeah,
We did,
it's
yeah.
not an
Yep.
original.
First one I ever wrote, so it's always going to have a little certain place in my heart.
Yes, yes. Well, I don't want to say anything else because, as I was saying, I do have a whole episode on that sketch planned. So,
Wow.
yeah, we can look at that. Anyway, well, that's the end of this episode, podcast number 3. Thank you for joining us. I'm Scott McPhie.
And I'm Matt Bell. Thank you as well from me also.
We are the Smooth End of the Pineapple. Look for us online at smoothpineapple.com. You'll find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. And that's it. So see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.